Well, hello, everybody. My name is Rawand Rasheed, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Helix Earth. By the end of this presentation, I want you to be inspired to join our mission to disrupt and decarbonize the HVAC industry by cutting energy use in half. Now, our company story really begins with one of the largest real estate developers in America, Frank Liu. And Frank kept telling me, hey, man, you got to help me. I'm spending way too much money in my buildings for cooling. And what we'll find out soon is that what Frank is feeling is actually indicative of a much larger global problem. My personal story with climate change actually started with my dad. He was a civil engineer in our home country, and he immigrated my family to America in search of better opportunities and in hopes of making an impact. And although his journey was cut very short, his dream of making an impact on climate change lives on in Helix Earth. We're going to cut energy use in air conditioning by 50% using a technology that I developed when I was an engineer at NASA called Helix Micro. Now, Helix Micro is not only going to help save Frank money, but it's also going to help address a global problem that disproportionately affects developing nations. But what's the deal with air conditioning? Well, by 2050, air conditioning is going to account for 8% of all global CO2 emissions. That's going to be more than the aviation industry and all the passenger vehicles on the road combined. And today, we spend $230 billion every single year just cooling spaces. But what's worse than the CO2 emissions, what's worse than the money we spend is that, believe it or not, half of the energy used to run air conditioners goes totally to waste. And the problem is actually humidity. So the challenge with cooling air is that some of the energy goes into dropping the temperature of the air, and some of the energy goes into pulling humidity or moisture out of the air. That humidity component, it's called the latent load, and can account for more than 70% of the energy used by air conditioners in some of the worst places like here in the UAE. And the industry has accepted that as a necessary cost of operation, but not anymore, because we're using Helix Micro to eliminate this load and save more than 50% of the energy used by air conditioners. So we're using Helix Micro as a retrofit add-on device for existing commercial air conditioning systems to efficiently pull humidity out of the air, drop the latent load on the air conditioner, and save more than 50% of the energy used by the air conditioner net of our system's energy use. We're not developing another software solution that gives you marginal efficiency gains. This is actually addressing the fundamental physics of the problem. So we're not just playing the game, we're actually changing the rules here. So I originally developed Helix Micro as a new filtration system for space when I was an engineer at NASA. Our patented filters, they have a unique microscale topology, and they leverage a disruptive spray-based dehumidification process. We showed that we could scale up those filters for space, ultimately proving them out for that environment, and found out that they're even better for the Earth, and they're one of the key enablers of our retrofit products. So our value proposition is simple and powerful. Install our system into your existing air conditioning systems, and then you start saving energy immediately. And they'll pay for themselves in 3 years. Everything after 3 years is money in the owner's pocket. So Frank is really happy about that. In over 15 years, we can offer about $1.5 million in savings for a typical building. And we can even take advantage of government incentives to get these into the hands of individuals for little to no upfront cost as well. But this idea of pre-dehumidification to save energy and money, it's not really a new concept, but prior methods are either too slow in their dehumidification rates or too inefficient, and that makes systems very bulky, very expensive. And in fact, if you compare us to other startups in the space, we can dehumidify 10 to 12 times faster, which means our systems are very compact, very efficient, and very cost-effective to produce. And that's the only reason why we can actually develop retrofits. No one else in this space can even think about addressing this problem in the way we are, and that's purely because of our Helix Micro technology. Now, the air conditioning markets, they're massive, $150 billion globally in TAM, and there are about 1 billion commercial air conditioners installed worldwide. And according to ASHRAE data, 80% of the world's population live in regions where the parasitic latent load is the majority load on air conditioners. So think about that. 4% of global CO2 emissions are going to be coming from avoidable wasted energy. But not to worry, we're going to address that. So we have right now multiple granted and filed patents for our technology. We've raised substantial dilutive and non-dilutive capital, and we've scaled up our technology to a commercial scale and are getting ready now for pilots. And we're going to start with our friend Frank, otherwise he would probably kill me. And then over the next 18 to 24 months, we'll be delivering product to market. Right now we have more LOIs and pilot demand than we can even keep up with. And not to worry, we have just the right team and elements here to deliver on our promise. We're combining a deep technical expertise from myself with a co-founder that has a proven track record of building and scaling successful startups. We're now fully staffed, and so we have all the team of experts ready to execute on our vision. So we are bringing a technology down to earth that was literally developed for a totally different world to address a 100-year-old problem, literally. We have gigatons of CO2 impact potential. But most importantly, and best of all, we're going to help our friends Frank save money while we do all of this. Thank you very much.